Hey guys, it's all about Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, I will be reviewing Life of Pi in 3D right now in this video. Guys, I got out of the theater a little while ago. Today, December 1st, I saw Life of Pi, a movie that I really didn't expect to see. I'm sorry for this late review. I know this movie came out right before Thanksgiving, about a little over a week ago. But like I said, at first I didn't think I was going to see this movie, because I first heard about this movie when I was making my November 2012 movie guide video. I put this movie in that video, and it didn't look like it would interest me. I said in that video I didn't want to see it. It didn't appeal to me in any way. And then the reviews for this movie started coming in, and I started hearing some really good things about this movie. I heard people praising this movie's visual effects. That was one good thing I heard. And this movie has like an 80-something on Rotten Tomatoes, so, you know, I heard a lot of good things about it. You know, there's some people that are saying this movie is boring, you know, they don't like it, but very few people are saying it's boring. Most people that have gone to see it really enjoyed it. But anyway, since I started hearing so many good things about this movie, I watched the trailer, the second trailer that featured that Coldplay song that I forget the name of. I think Paradise, that's it. Paradise by Coldplay was in the second trailer, and I loved that second trailer. It was so beautiful, and I even heard that this movie could be a possible Oscar contender. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go check out this movie. I hear it's really good. Well, why not? So I saw the movie today, guys, and it is is it a bore, or is it extremely well done? I'm going to go with number 2. This movie is fantastic, guys. Life of Pi. I can already tell you right now, I give it 2 thumbs way up. Life of Pi is amazing, guys. This is probably one of the best movies I've seen all year. I loved this movie. It was such a breathtaking, memorable, and beautiful movie that I seriously enjoyed. This movie is fantastic, guys. Now, when I first started this review, I said Life of Pi in 3D review. Well, I did see this movie in 3D because my theater wasn't playing it in 2D, and I also heard the 3D in this movie was really good. I got my glasses right here, guys. So yes, I will be talking about the 3D in this review just a little bit. I'm not making 2 separate videos like I did with Finding Nemo in 3D and Avengers 3D. I'm just putting it all together in one video just to, you know, save time for having to make 2 videos. So I'm going to talk about both. I'm going to talk about everything in this review, so it's going to be long just to make you aware. But anyway, guys, I don't want to waste time. Let's get right into my review of Life of Pi. First thing I want to talk about is the story. You have this young boy. He's Indian. He lives in India with his family. Basically, the first 30 to 40 minutes of this movie shows him growing up, shows him as a young boy and then as a teenager. And then when he's, I guess, I don't know, probably like 15 years old, maybe 16, 17, I don't know. He's a young teenager. His parents decide that they're going to move away from India. Meanwhile, his parents own these a whole bunch of animals that are part of a zoo. So they are taking all of the animals that they own, they're going to sell them all, and they're moving away from India. So Pi, his brother, and his parents, they're leaving India. Pi's really upset because this is his home. He really doesn't want to leave it. There's this girl he likes he doesn't want to leave behind. And so they get on this cargo ship, Pi and his family and all the animals, and then one night a very violent and brutal storm starts where they're sailing, and Pi ends up getting out of the storm. He gets onto a lifeboat, and this scene, by the way, was one of the most intense scenes I've seen in a movie this year. I've seen more intense scenes this year, but this is definitely on that top of the list. This storm scene was incredibly done. But anyway, Pi gets on this lifeboat, and the cargo ship sinks, meaning his family, all the crew, most of the animals on the ship all die at this storm. So Pi is the lone surviving human of this ship. He wakes up the next day. He's in the middle of nowhere on the lifeboat. He survived this luckily, but he just lost everything. You gotta feel bad for this kid. Meanwhile, he's not the only one on the lifeboat. There is a tiger by the name of Richard Parker, and Richard Parker is this very vicious and ferocious tiger that obviously after a couple of weeks he's going to get very hungry unless he has something to eat. And what is Pi to Richard Parker? Pi is food. He's meat. So, of course, throughout most of the movie, Richard Parker wants to rip Pi's face off. That's That's how I'm going to put it. He wants to obviously eat him because he has no other food. So Pi not only has to survive being all by himself and the rough seas and everything, he has to survive from this tiger. He wants to train this tiger to stop wanting to attack him all the time. So he's got to live with all of this out at sea, and that's basically your whole movie. He encounters not only like his relationship with this tiger grows a little bit. Like he depends on this tiger in some ways. He not only encounters that, he encounters a whole bunch of different creatures, while at sea. It is such a breathtaking movie experience. I loved the story for Life of Pi. I thought it was very well done. It was so fascinating in so many scenes, guys. Probably my only complaint with the story was that it took a while to to get to the part where he is actually on this lifeboat with Richard Parker. However, like the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, they're talking about him as a kid, shows him as a kid growing up in India. I actually liked that part. A lot of people have been saying, it's a little boring. But it's actually, I thought it was quite interesting. I thought it added, it's not like this movie was rushed. I'm glad it wasn't rushed. It took its time. And in some parts of this movie, I felt it was going by really quickly. Not one part of this movie I thought was boring. I never found any part of this movie to be boring. So that's something that I just want to warn you guys. A lot of people said this movie was boring. It wasn't boring in some of the scenes where Pi's on this lifeboat with Richard Parker. It was never boring. I always thought all those scenes were fascinating. In fact, I really thought it went by, my movie experience went by actually really quickly, even though this movie's 2 hours, which is a perfect time. But anyway, guys, just wanted to throw that out there about the movie's length and all. But anyway, guys, like I said, the story was excellent with this movie. And next thing I want to talk about is the cast. Playing the young version of Pi, the teenage boy Pi is a teenager, is Suraj Sharma. Hope I did not say his name wrong. Suraj Sharma's acting was incredible. He gave an excellent performance as Pi, even though he really wasn't talking that much. I mean, he was, especially when he was out at sea on the lifeboat with Richard Parker. I still liked Suraj Sharma's performance. It was excellent in this movie. I loved the character of Pi, which is short for P. Sheen, I think. I forget how to say it. I really loved the character of Pi. He was very intelligent out at sea. He knew what he was doing out on this lifeboat. That was something I like about his character. I mean, this is a survival story. This movie is a survival story. I always love movies that are like this. And he's got to learn to survive out here. And he did it. He did a perfect job, if you ask me. Very smart kid. Struggles a lot, especially after he lost his family. But I loved Pi's character, and Suraj Sharma's performance was excellent. Now, the other actor that I'm going to talk about right now is Irrfan Khan. I hope I didn't say his name wrong. He plays the older version of Pi. Pi as a adult. Throughout the movie, Pi is telling his story of what happened to him on this lifeboat with Richard Parker to a writer who wants to turn his story into a novel. So we all know that Pi lives this experience. He makes it out of this situation that he's in. But it's still, I liked Irrfan Khan's performance in this movie as the older Pi. I thought he was good too. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man this year, actually, just to let you guys know. But yeah, he was good in this movie, and that's the only other person of the cast that I know of. Everyone else I've never heard of or seen before, because there's primarily an Indian cast in this movie, so I guess that's why I've never heard of them before. That's probably why. And now there's a character in this movie that there wasn't an actor for, and of course that is Richard Parker, which is obviously a CGI tiger. And I loved Richard Parker in this movie. He was ferocious, very vicious towards Pi in the beginning of the movie especially. So that's something I definitely liked about the tiger. Definitely enjoyed this tiger in the movie. I enjoyed this tiger in the movie. Excuse me, guys. Anyway, guys, the next thing I really want to talk about is the visuals in this movie. This movie, I'm going to make a pretty bold statement right here. This movie has probably has the best visual effects of 2012. This movie has the best visual effects that are used in the movie of 2012. Seriously, this movie was visually beautiful. It was so stunning in so many scenes. The animals in this movie, namely Richard Parker, looked so authentic, just looked so lifelike. I was blown away. I was mind blown by how amazing these animals looked. I haven't seen animals that look this good since King Kong. You guys remember King Kong, the remake, the 2005 version? That movie is one of my favorite of all time. Now this movie, the CGI on these animals is so fantastic, so perfectly done. It was really cool looking. And it wasn't just the animals. It's the Pie's surroundings while on this lifeboat. You know, there's so many beautiful scenes in this movie. There's a scene where all the ocean is nice and calm, and you see the reflection of the sun in the clouds on the ocean, and that shot was just so beautiful looking. I was gasping. I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic. This is such beautiful filmmaking in the work right here, guys. I'm telling you. There was this one scene with there were all this jellyfish at night. They lit up, all these jellyfish lit up the ocean, and this whale comes flying out of the ocean in one scene, and I was just so mind blown. I'm like, oh my god, this movie is such a visual masterpiece. That's what it is. Everyone's been saying it, and I'm going to say it too, because it's absolutely true. This movie is a visual masterpiece. The visual effects in this movie are absolutely breathtaking, guys. The shipwreck scene was fantastically done. It was so intense. Loved it. It looked so real. I felt I was on that ship. I felt I was there and on that ship when that scene was happening. That's how real it felt. Loved it. Now, the other thing I want to quickly talk about is this movie's rating. It's rated PG. So yeah, little kids can go see this movie. There were some little kids in my theater. There were a lot of the elderly came to see this movie. I was like one of the only young guys in there. That felt kind of weird. But anyway, I felt that the PG rating is fine for this movie. I didn't think it was that violent. Maybe when Richard Parker eats some things, like some animals in this movie, and I don't want to spoil anything, maybe that was kind of violent, but they really don't show it. So maybe a couple scenes kids will look away because it's a little frightening. But overall, I think the PG rating is fine for this movie. Now, the next thing I'm going to mention, as I promised, guys, the 3D in this movie. The 3D in this movie was actually pretty good. A couple, like in the beginning, the 3D looked actually pretty damn good. And then, like the shipwreck scene, a beautiful scene in 3D. The 3D actually in the movie just added to this movie's beauty. And I'm so glad I saw it in 3D. Please, I recommend you see Life of Pi in 3D. It's a movie that is meant to be seen in 3D, kind of like Transformers was, Avatar was, which I never saw, but I know Avatar is a movie that was deserved to be seen in 3D. Couple scenes where the 3D felt like it wasn't there, probably because I was mind blown by the visuals. But most of the scenes that was in this movie felt beautiful in 3D. So yeah, the 3D was really good. Probably the best 3D movie I've seen all year. And finally, guys, it has time for me to give my rating for Life of Pi. I thought long and hard about this, but you know what? This movie earns this rating. I am going to give Life of Pi a 9.5 out of 10. Almost a perfect score. I think I had just one minor problem with this movie. Everything else I loved about this movie. I thought the cast was great, even though it was a small cast, because you know it's Pi and Richard Parker basically throughout the whole movie. Thought the story was amazing, beautifully written. Ang Lee directed this movie. Perfect job, Ang Lee. Congratulations, you made a perfect movie. And of course, above everything, the visual effects overpowers everything in this movie. The visuals in this movie were so stunning, such a masterpiece. I loved it. I loved this movie mainly because of its visual effects. It looked so beautiful. That's the one word to describe this movie, is absolutely freaking beautiful. I loved it. And of course, the 3D also added to the movie. The 3D was outstanding in most of the scenes, except for a few maybe. This movie was overall very entertaining. I never felt bored in this movie. Probably my only little complaint, I had one scene in the movie right after the events of the storm. The lifeboat's rocking. The seas are very rocky. Lifeboat's rocking back and forth. The camera is moving with the lifeboat, which adds a pretty nice effect to it. I thought that was nice, but at the same time, it's kind of making me a little dizzy. I was like, when's the camera going to stop rocking back and forth? It added to the authenticity of the movie, but I still felt that, making me a little dizzy here, cameraman. But overall, I did like that effect for the most part. Like I said, guys, hardly no complaints. Just that one little shaky cam scene. Had a few problems with that. Guys, Life of Pi is an absolutely fantastic movie. So many beautiful shots in this movie. Like I said, the jellyfish shot, the shipwreck scene, the storm scene. I love that. Just the calm scenes on the ocean, showing the reflection of the sun and the clouds. Such a breathtaking movie, guys. 9.5 out of 10. Please go see this movie. Like I said, it's probably one of the best movies that came out this year. I'm so glad I went to see it. Ang Lee, congratulations. You pulled off an excellent movie. For anyone wondering, is this movie Oscar worthy? Oh, absolutely. You see, other movies that I like this year that came out, like Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, Hunger Games, that I know will never make it to the Oscars. There's Life of Pi, one of my favorite films of the year, that I know will make it to the Oscars. And if it does, if it gets nominated for Best Picture, it absolutely deserves it. Unless there's another movie that I like that's in the running. But Life of Pi deserves Best Picture. It deserves Best Director, and for sure, it deserves Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards this year. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie took that award. It deserves it for sure. So thank you for watching, guys. Now I want to go read the book by Yann Martel, because this movie was based off the book. I haven't read it. I will for sure, definitely buy this movie on Blu-ray. It was just a fascinating, breathtaking, memorable movie experience. I love this movie, guys. Life of Pi, 9.5 out of 10. Sorry for this long review. Please go check this movie out this weekend. I wanted to get a lot more money at the box office, because it absolutely deserves it. Thanks for watching my movie review of Life of Pi in 3D. Check out a 3D showing of this movie. That's what this movie deserves to be seen in 3D. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.